यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः सर्वोपप्लवरहित प्रज्ञान गण प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्माहमस्मि सोहमस्मि ब्रह्माहमस्मि। ओम प्रपन्न पारिजाताय तोत्र वेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। My best wishes and Paripurna Ashirvadams, all kinds of prosperity, health, wealth and eternal happiness with Paripurna Lakshmi Katakshams to you and your entire family members and friends. Today we are going to see verse number 27 in 5th chapter Bhagavad Gita. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha स्पर्शान् कृत्वा बहिर्बाह्यान् चक्षुश्चैवान्तरे भ्रुवोः प्राणापानौ समौ कृत्वा नासाभ्यन्तरचारिणौ. We also read the next words. यतेन्द्रियमनो बुद्धिः मुनिर्मोक्षपरायणः विगते च भयक्रोधः Yasada mukta eva saha. The topic of Tvam Padartha Visheshaha. The topic which are dealt in Vedanta, there are three main subject matters. Totally there are 5 subject matters. As we saw, Jiva, Ishvara, Jagat. These main 3 topics and Bandha, Moksha, 2 required topic which are in the form of problem and solution. Bandham is the problem and moksham is the solution. Bandham is the problem, that which is experienced by jiva, and moksham is the solution which is given to the jiva by the shastra. Now the first portion have been divided into 6 chapters. Those 6 chapters, so now we have completed 5 of them. So in the 5 chapters, except the first chapter it describes about the state of bandham. Bandham means bondage, the problem which is beyond our understanding. So we need to make us understand the problem which we are locked with. That was the first chapter which deals with this subject matter called bondage. And from the second chapter onwards up to 5th chapter, he talks about all kinds of knowledge, mainly categorized in 2 subject matter, mainly categorized as the 2 subject matters. One is known as Brahma Vidya or Atma Vidya. Another is known as Karma Vidya. Because we are endowed with karma, therefore in these 2 topics, so he has given whatever to be given with in mixed way in order to realize us. Up to 5th chapter. Now the subject matter is completed. The next chapter comes how to assimilate. Why should I assimilate? Now among these 5 chapters, the Tvam Padartha Visheshaha means Gita deals in the first 6 chapters only the topic of the self, individual self or individual consciousness who experiences the bondage. In order to remove the bondage, that removal of the bondage is known as liberation, moksha. That unknown problem must be solved by the knowledge of the real nature has been taught completely. Now there is no requirement for the progress or to assimilate the knowledge, but there are three kinds of students so which are introduced by the Shastra itself. We call it Uttama Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari and Adhama Adhikari. Uttama Adhikaris are like a petrol. When there is a fire nearby, it will fetch like anything. So these Uttama Adhikaris need not to go for the next chapter called Dhyana Yoga or termed as Nididhyasana. There are Uttama Adhikaris like Nachiketa, Prahlada, even innumerable, even Rama, Lord Rama, Krishna, these people were Uttama Adhikaris. Once when Guru teaches, they assimilate as Guru teaches. They could understand, they could transform their self as suggested, as guided by the Shastra. They are able to transform, that transformation takes place properly. These Uttama Adhikaris, meditation is nothing but the process to assimilate the knowledge which is owned by an individual given by Shastra. These Uttama Adhikari means the great first level students. Okay, these first level students, when Vedanta says, when Bhagavan Krishna says, you are everything, you are nothing but God, God can be found in you. He just realizes exactly how Krishna says. He will be free from, or he is free from fear, anger, likes and dislikes. That's what told in the last words, Kama Krodha Viyuktanam and Vita Raga Bhaya Krodhaha. And also it is said in so many places, so the people who are endowed with complete peaceful minded. Okay. So those people are called Yati. Those, the higher categories of students are not required to meditate. Therefore, this process for the Madhyama varieties of people. Madhyama means middle standard student. So Arjuna is the middle standard student. And so many students we find in our Shastra as the middle standard students. Okay. So these middle students, they have the need to progress in the Shastra, to assimilate. That assimilation is given as the meditation. That meditation, those glimpses of those process have been given in these three verses. As I told you, meditation means Dhyai Chintayam. Now, meditation should have the destination. Without destination, no meditation should begin. But the proper destination must be realized. The destination is already achieved, that destination which are known, which are realized by the sadhaka, but still he is not able to see the benefit. What is the benefit? Once you realize you are nothing but Ishvara, so you can feel everything is Ishvara, no fear of death, no fear of life, no reason to become angry and no reason to become jealous. So your life, you can feel heaven in this life itself. You become completely Mukta Purushaha, liberated soul. For you, the world is nothing but Ishvara. Wherever you see, your physical eyes may get contacted with the different materials, but your third eye, means Buddhi, will get connected with non-different Brahman. Okay, so the Brahman, which is one with all the consciousness, therefore for him life is nothing but Brahma Nirvanam alone. But these Madhyama students, they are not able to come out of their samsara, their bondage, still bondage continues. For them, the knowledge is being received, but the knowledge is there as the indirect knowledge. Knowledge can be divided according to the function by giving the result. So when you gain the knowledge how to cook a sambar, how to cook upma. So very easy to cook khichdi because all the brahmacharis, they use this technique, only they cook always khichdi. Khichdi means very easy. Put the rice and put some dal, put some salt and oil, and even they need not to do tadka. Tadka means you put some oil and you also put some seeds and dals and curry leaf. So just make, like a khichdi. So it's the simplest cooking. But if you want to cook complicated dishes, you need to be informed. So knowledge is received. Now the knowledge needs the practice. So when you do the practice, you just giving life, that knowledge is being like practiced. The all worldly knowledge or indirect knowledge. So it's nothing to do with the knowledge of the self. So how to ride a bike, how to swim, how to cook, how to operate flight, how to deal with the business tackles, and so many things are there. You have so many fields around you, therefore you become eligible for any knowledge, don't matter or doesn't matter. The thing is, you are enlightened or not about yourself. If you are enlightened about yourself, then you are considered Atmagnani. But one problem is there. So when you become habitual, observe what I say. When we have become habitual of studying about outer object as the indirect knowledge, if I receive any knowledge other than me, I remain with indirect knowledge. So this it's very difficult, but I will make in simple way. Now any knowledge, when you learn, it remains indirect knowledge. You have to make effort to convert into direct. If I talk about one country where you have not been, so any country you can take, Japan or Paris or London or any country, or in India itself there are so many places, Badrinath, Kedarnath, Vaishnavi Mandir, and so many Vaishnava sthalas, Sri Rangam or Tirupati. So many places are there. And if I am giving knowledge about one among them, you get the knowledge. Now you have not been there, the knowledge remain in you as the indirect knowledge. When you go to that place, you convert indirect to direct knowledge. Okay, so you have to go there to convert indirect to direct. Indirect knowledge means about Tirumala, or about Sri Rangam. So when you just know about the Sri Rangam, that is not enough. That is not complete knowledge. That though it is complete knowledge, it seems to be, but when you go there, you experience the darshan of Lord Ranga or Lord Balaji, then it becomes direct knowledge. In the same way, when Gita teaches about yourself, Atma, so Atma is imperishable, Atma is all pervasive, and God is almighty. When you realize Him in you, you become almighty. And not only that, you don't have death, you don't have birth, you don't have bandha, you need not to set the moksha. So all these things, when you gain from Shastra, so you feel good, But when there is a small problem comes in your life, this all knowledge keeps mum. You continue as the samsari, you continue as the person who undergoes problem. So this problematic attitude, suffering continues. So when sufferings are continuing, you are not considered brahmajnani, means the knowledge is not assimilated. That assimilation is nothing but conversion. That conversion is nothing but to become transformation. That transformation, if it is not making or it is not taking place, you won't get rid of samsara. That converting that indirect knowledge, so I am Atma, I am Ishvara, so Ishvara in me, so only it is there in the buddhi as the indirect knowledge, as the knowledge about other object. So when you could assimilate it, means you could identify properly, then you could realize that freedom, liberation, the moksha avastha, then you will be called Jivan Muktaha. So after studying even the prayojana is not taking place, then people suggest, our rishis, they have suggest you have to undergo the process called meditation, but in Vedanta it is known as Nididhyasanam. Why I am emphasizing this portion must be realized well. Meditation for what? Meditation should have the destination. Now the destination is not outside. That is the different. The meditator of Vedanta, meditator of other than Vedanti. So, that's what the clear cut understanding. Now the destination which is sitting inside in the form of indirect knowledge, we have to convert it. We have to convert it means what? Should we take a spanner and some kind of instrument or scissors to convert it, to cut it? No. Just you follow the things which are going to be said, you automatically you will be able to assimilate the things. And this is beautiful method. And one more thing I would like to tell, the 6th chapter, which also brings all the knowledge of Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So meditation is the process. That meditation can be used in a positive way with a positive destination. The same meditation also can be used for worldly materialistic happiness or materialistic prosperous. Therefore here he begins with all the stages introducing Bhashikara. He says, Atra uttarardhena pranayama uktaha sparshan kritva bahirbahyāniti pratyahara uktaha bhruvor antare chakshuhu kritva dharanoktaha vigatecha bhayakroda idhi sadhana bhutaha palabhutascha dvidha yama niyamascha uktaha yatindriyati vitarkakhya samprajñātaha यतमना इति विचाराख्यः यत बुद्धिरित्यानंद स्मिताख्यो मोक्ष परायण इति संप्रज्ञात उक्तः शेषेण योग फलमिति विभागः. So beautiful tika is given bhashyam in the 2 verses. He has summarized the 6th chapter completely. Now he says the first step in Ashtanga Yoga is called Yama and Niyama. I said Yama means physical discipline and Niyama means the discipline which can be adopted in the psychological level, mental discipline. That's what here it is said. Acharya says, Vigade cha bhaya krodha. When you follow Yama and Niyama, you will come out of likes and dislikes. So when you follow Yama is, you have to be careful and awareful with all the activities of your physical system. So physical system, we eat, we speak, we do so many things. Okay, and also it begins from the sleep. So you have to sleep because you have to allow your body to lie down from time to time. You will make a timetable. So morning 4 o'clock I should get up. After getting up the 4 o'clock, what should I do? I should give proper asanam. Asana means posture for sitting. So when I sit, so that sitting without movement with a firm posture called sthira sukha asanam, then what? I will take this body for exercise. So yoga abhyasa and physical exercise or walking or some kind of exercise must be given. Then I have to utilize this body with a proper angle to the proper action, that is physical observation, physical discipline, which has told as yama. The niyama means what kind of thought I should allow to be in our mind, psychological level. Both these yama and niyamas will give maturity for me to come out of my likes and dislikes, and not only that, I can be free from my fear and anger. Then also he continues, the yama niyama pranayamaha. So you have to balance your pranayama. Prana panav samau kritva. So prana, exhalation and inhalation has to be equal, and so other many techniques he will reveal in the next chapter. Then pranayama, pratyahara means bahihi bahyan kritva. You stop outside world in the outside itself, pratyahara. Dharana means you just keep your mind in front of your nose, tip of your nose. Nasabhyantara charinau, the air which comes inside and goes out, you have to keep there, means it's a contemplating, not on the worldly object, contemplating here. Dharana here means physically, but mentally you have to be endowed with the knowledge which are received from Shastra. Then dhyanam is said yathendriya mano buddhihi. So he says vitarkakhya, vicharakhya, so many asmita, raga, ananda, asmita, so many meditation methods, and moksha parayanaha, having destination as a moksha. So he become sada muktaha, ever liberated person. For all this meditation, destination has to be fixed. So destination cannot be moksha directly. The first destination can be Ishvara is the destination. So a meditator should have the destination is nothing but Ishvara. That's what said in the next words. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarva lokamaheshwaram suhridam sarva bhutanam nyatva mam shanti mricchati. So all these words will be explained elaborately in the next chapter. But in brief way we will understand yajna tapasam bhoktaram sarva loka maheshwaram suhridam sarva bhutanam suhridam nyatva mam nyatva shanti mricchati. Bhagavan Krishna says, having me as the destination, knowing me as the Maheshwara, the Lord of the world, knowing me as the friend to all the beings, and knowing me who is the sustainer of all the actions, all the activity which are in the form of fire rituals, which are in the form of yajnas, or which is in the form of normal karma. So shanti mricchati, that person attains moksha, he becomes completely liberated person. He concludes. Now he is considered as a sannyasi. Sannyasi means so that who has that supreme destination called moksha, brahma nirvanam, shanti, he attains it. So with this verse, this 5th chapter is completed. Let me give the lines of completion. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishnarjuna Samvade Karma Sannyasa Yogo Nama Panchamodhyayaha. So this 5th chapter is being completed. We will see the essence of 5th chapter, and also we will begin the 6th chapter from the next episode. See you tomorrow. Harihi Om. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।